Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting. And August is almost coming to an end. It's been a busy month. Some really big stories that we need to talk about happening right now, including Hulu, as we know it, coming to an end. Also, Warner Bros. Discovery shutting down some of its cable networks, and Disney Plus content coming to Hulu as they prepare for the end of Hulu. We'll tell you about these stories and more in a quick second. There's a lot to talk about. It's been a busy day, busy month, and more. If you want to find a link to each story I'm about to talk about, check out the show notes, and in the first pinned comment, I'll put a link to each story there so you can read them for yourself. Come up with your own opinions. I want to hear from you. If you're new here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, doing one or both. Let YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. All right, let's dive into it. Earlier this month, Disney made a big announcement that Hulu would be going away as an independent app and independent streaming service. Starting in 2026, the exact date has not been announced. I heard rumors it could start earlier than we think. Hulu will shut down its app and fully merge into Disney Plus. Now with this, Disney Plus will still offer all of its content and all the Hulu content in there. Now, Hulu Plus Live TV is going to do something different. It's reportedly merging in a joint venture between Disney and Fubo, and it'll be kind of spun off into its own thing, separate from Hulu. What that means for Hulu's on-demand content you get with your Hulu Plus Live subscription, it's a good question. There's a lot of speculation that may change, but exactly how it will change is unknown. But with this, Disney is kind of saying, okay, now we 100% own Hulu. They've finished paying off Fox. Remember when Hulu launched, it was a joint venture of CBS, ABC, NBC, and Fox. Quickly, CBS kind of pulled back from it, eventually being the smallest partner in this. Disney bought Fox, and then NBC sold their control to Disney in a deal that took years to complete. Now that it's complete, Disney owns all of Hulu. They are merging it into Disney Plus completely. They're also internationally expanding this. I think except Japan, I don't know, is Hulu still used there? An independent company had the naming rights for Hulu in Japan for a long time in a joint partnership. I think that changed there though. Don't count me on that. I don't follow that as close. But the Star area in the Disney Plus app is now being rebranded to Hulu around the world too. We'll keep an eye on this, but Hulu as a standalone independent app and service is going away. Exact details will still be announced, but as they get ready for this, Disney has started to bring some of its exclusive Disney Plus originals to Hulu. You'll now find a bunch of Disney Plus content streaming over there, including things like The Mandalorian, Andor, plus not just Star Wars, but Marvel's content like The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, the complete first season, and more are all coming to Hulu now. This comes as they're trying to, give Hulu subscribers a taste of what's over on Disney Plus to get them to be interested in it. Will not surprise me at some point you have to have a Disney Plus subscription to continue to get Hulu, and Hulu will be like an add-on to your Disney Plus. I think that's a ways down. I think Hulu subscribers will continue to be able to access their content for a while. But Disney's made it clear they don't see a purpose in having two completely independent streaming services. We'll keep an eye on it. You got things like Max and Discovery Plus, though they're kind of splitting the company up over there. Paramount also has multiple separate streaming services like BET and Paramount Plus. We'll see how those all play out in the future. I suspect we'll continue to see consolidation in the world of streaming. All right, next up, speaking of Warner Bros. Discovery, they shut down several cable networks this month, including HBO Family, Thrill Max, Movie Max, and Outer Max. This comes as they're trying to increasingly push customers to subscribe to their HBO Max streaming service. Don't forget, HBO Max is back. This month they renamed Max back to HBO Max. With that, though, they want more and more people to subscribe, and cable channels that aren't very much viewed. I've talked about this for a while. Those smaller MTV2, MTV News, already shut down. You also see things like all those smaller BET channels. I suspect we'll see consolidation in this. And Warner Bros. Discovery is going to be splitting off all of their cable networks into an independent company. And I suspect with that happening in 2026, more of their cable networks will shut down. Comcast is NBC Universal is also splitting off its cable networks into an independent company. Reportedly, one of the reasons why Universal Kids was shut down earlier this year. We'll keep an eye on that, but look for many more cable networks to shut down coming soon. Also, the Roku channel, which has recently kind of jumped up in viewership, now the largest ad-supported free streaming service, not counting YouTube. They kind of put YouTube in its own bucket on the side here, but has been adding a lot more live content. Now has over 560 channels, added over 19 new channels this month. We got a full list down there, but live TV channels are becoming increasingly popular on streaming services for free. Pluto TV being one of the ones leading the way in this charge with it. All right, if you're a Comcast customer, still some big changes, or even if you're an internet customer and you use the Comcast email server, Comcast has announced this month that they are shutting down their email service, and in September it will transition over to Yahoo. So you'll have to swap over your content over to Yahoo if you want to continue to access your email. One thing Comcast did is they allowed you to continue to use your Comcast account email even if you canceled their service, but you had to continue to use it. If you have not used your account in the last 2 years, it will not be moved over and it will not be saved. So keep that in mind. Comcast also announced that they were removing Cartoon Network and Adult Swim from its core TV packages, no longer included in any of their TV packages, unless you pay an additional $9.95 on top of the price to add in its additional TV and sports package that gives you more channels. This has been a big question about Cartoon Network. Increasingly, it's been struggling. DirecTV's entertainment package, its cheaper genre pack there, doesn't include it, though it does include Adult Swim. Comcast is pushing both off. And this comes as mass layoffs have recently hit Cartoon Network, leaving some employees to say they are publicly concerned about the future of Cartoon Network and what that means. We'll keep an eye on that. But Cartoon Network continuing to struggle with this. I think they're just going to be one of many cable networks that are going to see similar treatment being pushed off to add-ons in order to try to raise revenue. All right, Roku launched a new streaming service this month. Howdy, a $2.99 ad-free streaming service. Includes quite a bit of content from the Roku channel, but ad-free. And also bought recently, closed the deal for Friendly. Its live TV streaming service that owns both now as Roku diversifies just from a hardware company further into ads and subscriptions with this. Now, one interesting thing that a lot of people got upset about is when this happened, Roku automatically installed Friendly and Howdy on everybody's Roku. Now, you were able to remove it just by selecting it in the star key in your remote and selecting remove app or delete app. I can't remember the exact wording there. But a lot of people were very upset that these were force added onto their Rokus. But this, I think, marks a real transition. Increasingly, the money and most of Roku's revenue now comes from subscriptions and ads. And I suspect Roku is not done leaning more into that in the years to come. Speaking of streaming, Paramount Plus announced that their second quarter earnings for Paramount that it lost 1.3 million subscribers. This was just before Skydance completed its merger with Paramount, and Skydance's leadership team took over. Now, this is facing an investigation in Congress by Democrats, launching an investigation into the deal here for this. But I don't suspect that that will change much in the fact that Skydance's leadership is taking over. Many people who have run Pluto TV and Paramount Plus have left, including the co-founder of Pluto TV, who had recently, or in the last few years, taken over day-to-day operations of all Paramount streaming and is now completely left the company as Paramount shakes up its total leadership with new people taking over. Be interesting to see how Paramount goes forward in streaming. They're very committed to it, they say, but it definitely will probably look different. Not immediately, these things take time, but I think new leadership will come with new ideas and a new vision. With that, though, they are clear, though, that Paramount plans to make changes to its cable networks like MTV, Nickelodeon, and more. They also announced that they won't be selling BET. They've tried several times to sell it, never quite got the deal they wanted, and now they say they intend to keep it under the new leadership. But They plan to make mass layoffs across Paramount, including its cable networks, and shake up how they are run. Paramount, of all the networks, I think has the most at-risk networks right now. All those MTV versions, all those BET versions just can't justify, 3 or 4 different MTVs, a bunch of BET channels, Nickelodeon struggling, and more with it. Would not surprise me to see significant consolidation within its TV ranks. So they say at this moment they have no intention of spinning off their networks. Doesn't mean they may not still shut down networks. I still stand by that Paramount has some of the networks most likely to shut down in 2025. And lastly, hey, T-Mobile wants to be your internet provider, not just with 5G home internet, not just with your cell phone, but with home fiber. T-Mobile has been expanding its fiber customer and has now announced a deal to purchase U.S. Internet, a provider most notably in the Twin City areas up there in Minnesota, but expanding across the country with laying fiber and buying a growing number of companies out there to offer fiber home internet. T-Mobile trying to diversify its business just from being mostly a wireless provider to also being a heavy major player in fiber, MetroNet, and other places, all coming together. We'll keep an eye on this, but T-Mobile working hard to take on the growing number of internet providers. I know where I live, I now have 2 fiber providers in my street, Verizon and T-Mobile 5G home internet, a cable provider, and more available. Of course, you can also throw in Starlink. But not that long ago, you may have had 2, if you were lucky, internet providers, sometimes only 1. And now increasingly, people are getting more and more options. I hear people say, well, I still only have cable. Well, you at least have Starlink with that. And with T-Mobile expanding both its 5G home internet and its fiber internet, more options come into cord cutters all the time. I love that. And I think competition is the best thing that can ever happen to home internet. There was a study that said when more competition, the faster the speeds in the market and the likelihood of a data cap going away. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this recap into some of the biggest stories that happened in the month of August. What do you think is the most important story that happened? Leave me a comment. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take care. Be safe. I'll be back again tomorrow with another video.